Morning Galaxy on Star FM. It's out of this world.
Right, so joining me in the studio, his name is Coach Tafadzwa. He's a life coach with over a decade of experience working with teenagers, preteens, and parents both in Zimbabwe and abroad. He leads an entertainment center and he's got a popular book called My Dating App. Good morning to you, Coach.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Magadi?
Yes,
This
sure,
is my
Magadi.
first time in studio this year.
Yes, it's your first time in the studio this year. How was your holiday?
Well, I had fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm just having a hard time getting back into my groove at work. You know how it is when you've been away for some time, you've been playing hard, and now you need to get back to work. Yeah, but I'm getting to it.
It's a hustle, isn't it?
It is.
So, right, getting into today's topic, we're just starting off the year. So let's talk about jumpstarting 2025 and goal setting for the year.
Yes. So since we're starting the year, it's an important time for us to actually sit down and then come up with goals. Of course, I know that for most parents, they've probably already set goals in other areas. But today I'm going to be focusing on the area of parenting. So it's certain goals for yourself as a parent and also helping your child to set goals. You know, some of us never learned to set goals until we were adults. And even some adults right now, they don't even know the importance of setting goals, and probably they haven't even set. And the reason is that nobody took us through, nobody taught us even the importance of setting goals. So if as a parent, you model goal setting, and then you also help your child to set their goals, it's a culture that you are inculcating in them, and even as they are older, they will know the importance of setting goals, and it'll be easier for them to just continue because now it's a part of them. So that's what we're talking about today. So I'm going to be talking about the goals that you have to set for yourself as a parent in terms of your parenting, and then the goals that you can also help your child to set depending on what age they're at. So this is the beginning of the year. Some are starting a new grade. Maybe they're going to high school for the first time. Maybe they're now waiting for their A-level results, and they're going to be going to uni soon. So they're going into another phase of life, and it's an important time for you to just have conversations around your expectations as a parent and what they're also expecting, and then together you can co-create goals for you and then goals for them also. But before you even start the process, it's important to just have a reflection and to see how you were doing last year. You know, it's easy for you to then know areas that you need to improve on or things that you need to maintain to do if you've had a time to reflect. Otherwise, you just continue doing whatever it is you've been doing, whether it's been working or not. You know, there's this popular proverb. It's called the madman syndrome, doing the same old things in the same old ways and expecting different results. That's not going to happen. You actually need to reflect and then see things that you need to change. So the first thing, you need to ask yourself as a parent, and then you can also have this conversation with your child. What worked? What was working for us? Maybe for our relationship in 2024, because sometimes we think things are so bad and we think nothing was working. But for you to have been able to just continue together as mother and son, or as son and dad, it means that there are things that we're working. So you want
there were some takeaways and positives from the
yes, definitely. And then you want to maintain those things, because what could happen is if you don't appreciate what was working, you could throw away that thing that you've been doing that was actually working. So you want to maintain that. So you start from what was working, and it just starts the conversation off at a positive note. And then you also want to ask yourself, what challenges did I face in my parenting, and what challenges did I face with my child? And then maybe you could also extend the question to them. And I would rather you have this conversation at a time when you're both chilled, calm, and there's no emotions involved. Personal pressure. Yeah. Because it's an opportunity to start afresh. This is a new year. Mombo kanganwa shakari. You know, sometimes, especially adults, they go historical when a child does something bad. Then they'll be like, last week wakazodai, so last month wakadai. And then they're like going back and back. So you want to just like forget the past and then try and start everything on a new slate. And then the next question would then be, what can I do differently? So now you're asking yourself, what can I do differently? So maybe there are things that you've discovered that we're not actually working right, but now you want to improve. So what can I do in order to be better? You're posing this question to yourself as a parent, and then you're also posing the question to the child. And then together you're co-creating and seeing what could happen. And then after you've started with these questions and now you've got a foundation, the next thing now you want to clarify your instructions and your expectations to your child, especially if they're young. Maybe they're still pre-teens or they've just started teenage. You shouldn't give those ambiguous expectations or instructions where a child would be left wondering, what exactly am I supposed to do, or what exactly is expected of me? So this is where the concept of setting SMART goals comes into play, where you're actually specifying what needs to be done. So in the spirit of specifying, there are areas here that I thought you could look at, so that for each area, and these are some of the core areas, obviously when you sit down together with your children, you may discover there is more to what I've written, but this is just like the general guideline. So the first thing is communication. How was communication between you and your child last year, and what kind of communication do you want? Do you appreciate it when your child gives you updates through social media, or you're that kind of a parent who says, "Kanaone nyaya, come and talk to me to my eyes, don't send text and all that," because sometimes a teen or a child is thinking, I've communicated well enough, I've sent a message, and then to a parent you haven't communicated.
Yes, because they'll see it as disrespect somehow.
Yeah, yes. You think I've informed, don't you be like, they'll be like, because
but I sent a text.
Yeah, they were expecting you to actually go in person and then talk to them. So that has to be clarified. There are things that I've discovered that adults assume vakangokura vachiziva, but what they don't know is that somebody took an effort to teach them. So if they expect their children to also know those things, then they also have to explicitly teach, explicitly explain those things to them. So communication, that's important. How have you been communicating? And for parents, especially moms, I want you to reflect on the language that you've been using. There's so many things that sometimes parents say to children in the name of being angry and emotional, but the words are so hurtful to children that maybe those words would stick with them and will affect their self-esteem or will create bitterness in them. And sometimes the parent doesn't even know that is the impact that their words are having on the child. So you want to reflect, what kind of words do I use? And do they serve the purpose? Do they encourage the child, or they actually destroying the child? And you can make a resolution and say, in 2025, I'm going to be different. I'll do things differently. And then you also want to have a chat with your child and maybe help them see the way that they've been communicating with you that you do not approve of. Maybe they were giving you those one-word answers. Maybe they were answering back, and you want to help them make a resolution to be different. And then also there's an issue of puberty. So now that we've just started a new year, maybe your child is reaching that phase where puberty is starting. As a parent, what goal are you setting for yourself in terms of preparing the child for the new journey that they're going to get into, the new changes that are going to happen to them? How are you going to be different in terms of your approach in communicating with them, in talking to them? What are you going to buy for them? What workshops are you going to take to them? What conversations are you going to have with them, and at what point? So you want to be intentional, and you want to actually be organized. I also go to cross the bridge when we get to it. Before you know it, the time is already past. Because what we should be mindful of is childhood or teenage is a phase, and that phase comes and goes. The clock is ticking. Your children will not always be children. Saka, if you don't take the time to teach them what they should learn, before you know it, they're already adults, and it's too late to teach them certain things. And then we go to academics, and also you want to be very clear about your expectations, and your expectations have to be realistic. And then you have a conversation with your child. What are they expected? And maybe if you're the type who gives incentives, you're actually specifying 5 A's. This is what we as parents are going to do for you. 3 A's, this is what we'll do for you. Anything outside that, maybe you're not going to get anything, or something like that. And try and give realistic promises also. Promises that you'll be able to fulfill, so that because sometimes children will surprise you. They were not putting effort all this while, and in your mind you thought they'd reached their potential. Then you give them an incentive, you promise them something, they exert themselves, they go all out, and then they achieve what you said. they surpass the benchmark, but wangorango promise in your mind thinking they would never like reach that.
Now they've done it. Yes.
fulfill my promises, and then next time they don't trust you. And then the other thing, you want to look at habits. So you are setting goals in terms of habits. What new habits do you now want to teach your children? Because as a year passes, it means it's a birthday being added, and they are growing. So should responsibility. So now you want to teach them new habits. What do you now want them to learn? Maybe you want them to build a reading culture. So you're saying each and every single week you're supposed to read a book. Give me a report. Or maybe you are saying now that you're a little older, you should learn how to clean the car, and this is what you're going to be doing every morning before you bath or whatever. So you want to now help them develop new habits that will train them for the new level of responsibility by reason of their age. And then there's also the issue of religion. Maybe you now want them to be serious with church things. You want to take them along, or you want them to take a responsibility at church. So you are sharing with them, then this is my expectation with you. But then you are engaging them. What do you think you can start doing in church? What responsibility can you take? Things like that. And together you co-create, you make goals. The good thing about making those goals is it makes it easy for you to then follow up. You can have a tracking system. So you know this is what we agreed we would do during the first quarter of the year. How far are we? Where are we in terms of achieving those? And then you actually tick if there's things that they would have managed to start doing. And then along with that also, I was talking about responsibility. We also should look into like household chores. What should they now do? I don't know, but you are setting that goal.
Okay.
Like for yourself as a parent, you're saying, okay, this is one thing that I'm actually going to make an effort to teach my child, because I want them by the end of the year to have at least learned this important thing. You know, we were having a discussion with preteens like over the weekend about what to do when Vauya. And you know what? Some of them were actually sincerely ignorant. Like they would think kuti kungogara uri pafoni uri bedroom that's being respectful. Zvekuti unongosiya mama nevaenzi vavo vachitaura, you don't even come out. Yeah, you don't even come out to say hi and all that. Yet we know that okay, kana vaenzi vavo, you're supposed to come out, greet them and all, not to wait till they then say takuenda.
Yes.
And then also Buddha, and the means will be like so that they actually didn't know, like sincerely ignorant. So it's things like that, small things like that, that you would say, okay, I think my child is coming of age, I should start training them to be able to do that. They should know simple as that may be, but those little actions can actually develop the man or the woman that you want to come out of your child. And then the issue of quality time, I think this you should also like add to your goal setting thing. Quality time, just spending time together. And I don't mean just being in the same space, but actually being engaged, like doing something together for the sake of creating bonds, because you want that relationship. And this is particularly important for teens who will soon be leaving the house and going for uni. And we know what's happening these days. Most of them, they go to college, they're never coming back. So it means your opportunity to create that bond, to have that relationship with them is fast running out. The time is fast running out. That period has a shelf life, and you need to make sure that you make use of that time. Otherwise, they're gone and gone for good, and you will never get an opportunity to know who they are. And I think I've already talked about language. Yeah, the language that you've been using to address your child, because your words as a parent have a meaning,
and they create a mark as well.
Yeah, they definitely create a mark. So you want to self-assess and see, okay, have I been doing the right thing? Should I change? Then there's also the issue of consequences and disciplining. Has it been effective? Because sometimes the jaira kupopota state, and we think we are strict, yet our children get conditioned to kupopota kwedu to a point here yekuti vanongozi ndozvinokuita didi ndozvinokuita mama, and it no longer serves the purpose. So you want to also like reflect and see, okay, what's been happening, what can I do, what can I change? And whilst you're doing that, you're also helping your child to just learn the habit of setting goals. It's important because they will grow to become CEOs, whoever, and they'll have so many roles at the same time. And if they don't write what is expected of them, there's no way that they're going to be able to put everything together in their head and still be excellent. They actually need to learn to write. So I think my time is almost up. I've got a little something for parents. If you are parents, especially a parent who has a child who's now about to start puberty or a child who's about to start Form 1, please, if you're interested in getting a little booklet that will help you prepare them for Form 1 or prepare them for puberty, feel free after the show to send me a WhatsApp message. So you just write your name, your child's name. My WhatsApp number is 0773 606 728. 0773 606 728. And if you're a teenager, you've got a question, or you just want to find out more about how to enjoy your teenage years, you too are free to just send me a WhatsApp message.
Right, Coach Tafazo, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
You're most welcome.
So, right, you can catch him every Tuesday right here on Star FM, and the segment we call Teen Zim. His name is Coach Tafazo, and he's a life coach with over a decade of experience working with teenagers, pre-teens, and parents both in Zimbabwe and abroad. And he also leads an edutainment center and has a popular book, My Dating App. And today we're just talking about jumpstarting 2025 and goal setting for the year, you as a parent and your child. So, right, coming up shortly, we've got the news, and then in the next hour, we've got World Beats and also your mental health matters with Tendai. And he is hoping that you are having a beautiful morning. We are Star FM, sounding good all the time. It's 11. It's time for the news.